All right, let's see. I believe we are live, and yes, we are. I'm going to give everybody a time, just a minute to catch up, because when I press live, it's there. You see the results. If you're here, that means you know what just happened, and I called it yesterday. Man, I am on fire with these calls. When I'm saying that, hey, signs are showing, signs are showing. Yeah, I still thought that Shelly-Ann, when she shows up, she should be able to at least get something where she can qualify. Let me make sure I can hear myself over here.
Since you agree.
All right, since you agree, all this other stuff to ads and ads and ads. But anyway, let's see. Yep, I can hear myself. Man, so I'm pretty sure most people, I'm gonna say this like this. I'm pretty sure that most people thought that Shelly-Ann was going to go out a different way. That if she was gonna go out, they would have just beat her. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Now that we got this here, yeah. Kumo, he said, "Bro, I'm genuinely on the verge of tears. I wasn't expecting Shelly to pull out." Look, Shelly-Ann said, "Look, I ain't got it, and I ain't trying to lose." She said, "I don't got it, and I'm not trying to just lose like that." Let me adjust the mic here at the mic levels. Okay, we're good. Okay. Oh, yeah. And by the way, for the people that say, oh, the mic is too low and everything, man, this mic is real high. It's actually hurt my ears, and I got to step back from it for me to do it. So I heard some of my older videos that I played this year, and they are much lower than this. So for those that say that type of stuff, I automatically block you. I don't even respond. Like, you're just blocked off the channel. So if you want to come in and troll and say the mic is low, there you go. But because I can hear myself, I got headphones playing back to myself now. But anyway, the young lady, Tia Clayton, ran well though. The Buffalo Soldieress said, yeah. So we're gonna get to that now. Let me go ahead and pull these up on the screen. Let me pull these up on the screen, get through the results here, because this was a little bit different than we were expecting. I still thought that, like I said yesterday, I said it and I replied to it in the comment section. Maybe I need to go over my own words and then quote myself. But you guys have been here, most of you, where I said Shelly-Ann is going to struggle if she even makes it through. That's why I'm like, she's going to have to sit through on time. I just didn't see it. And had she been able to run an 11 low, yeah, she would have still made it. But yeah, based on how she did that, I wonder if she just participated here just to say, hey, look, I participated in the Olympics. Maybe that could have been going through her head. But we're going to get to that in just a second. So let's go to semifinal number 1. Melissa Jefferson was able to clean up some things here. And for the people that say Ta Lou don't know how to energy manage, hey, she might have got second here, but doing this at 11.01, unless something is seriously wrong. Hey, she said, I am ready for a medal. I did the bare minimum I needed to do so I can get through to the next round. I don't think anybody could discredit her right now. She did the 10-8 yesterday. She came back today. She just said, you know what? I'm going to do the bare minimum. She knew what her competition was. And she said, well, based on some things yesterday, they go run about an 11 flat, a 10 high. She got to look around and see where her competition is. I don't care if I get second, because what really matters is how much energy I got left for the final. So I'm going to give Ta Lou that right now. I'm going to give Ta Lou that right now. She is setting herself up, and I'm not going to have this video too long because I got to record the video for the guys. I'm not going to cover it on this one. I'm going to separate the men and the women. But, yeah. She has learned from her older mistakes, and she's got a different coach. They're working on some things, and that coach is like, look, you in an easy semifinal. You know what you just did. They have to race. So if they force you to race faster, then you go faster. But if you don't need to, just do what you need to do. And you know, she got the tendency of not really leaning that well. She leans, I've noticed in a race, she leans, but it's like her torso or whatever is so small, it looks like she doesn't, and sometimes she doesn't lean. So it's hard to time that in these races. But yeah, Melissa Jefferson comes through with the win. She had a better reaction time than most of the field. I think she had the second fastest reaction time. Yeah, she did. She had the second fastest reaction time behind Kimbunji, and of course, Kimbunji typically gets out pretty well, so she started the race more or less in the lead. And then, you know, Swoboda was trying to do her thing, just could not hold on. Now, here's the thing. Dina Asher-Smith, as I said yesterday, let's go to her profile real quick. Dina Asher-Smith, like I said, this is a transition year for her. So I said, whatever happens to her, we not going to see what it really is until 4 years. That means the next Olympics. She will be 32 years old, still in a chance to do some things, still got a chance to get personal best and everything like that. She's probably going to need it with that crowd that's there. But we're going to see some of her results next year. Okay, that's what we're going to see it. Unfortunately, it just matched up that she changed coaches. She's with a new program at an Olympic year. Everybody does not adjust to a new coach or a new program for that instance, because Noah Lyles had the same coach but a different program. You don't adjust to it necessarily the same season. Sometimes you go backwards, and that's unfortunate for her. But I'm not too worried about Dina Asher-Smith. She's going to be personally disappointed. Do not change your coach yet. Give them 2 seasons, and then we'll see if you change your coach. Don't just hop around, Dina. Just don't change your coach. I thought if you would have went to a coach, you go to Stephen Francis. You go to, obviously, the coach you got. I think it's John Smith, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or you go to Dennis Mitchell. Those are the coaches I would have thought would be the best matches for Dina Asher-Smith based on what she's shown in the past. Now, going back to everybody else, Forbes was a good sub in. I mean, she did the best that she could do. So I say congratulations to her. Much better than, you know, Shericka Jackson coming through and aggravating any sort of injury or still not making it through to the round. Jamaica is looking kind of shaky when it comes here because it's like, look, out of the big names, you had a sub out, number 1. So you subbed out Shericka Jackson. Then her sub didn't make it. That makes sense because Forbes was number 4 in Jamaica. And she was not necessarily as strong as everybody else. I'll read the comments in just a second. And that's kind of how it is, you know? And then we got, let me see. I'm actually surprised that Dosso from Italy finished last. I am surprised. I don't know what happened there with her as far as everything, the prep that was leading up to her. I thought she would have been in the middle of the pack, if anything like that. I'm really looking forward to what she could do in the future, but you know, I'm a little bit surprised by her finishing in last. If anybody was going to finish in last, I thought it would have been somebody else, the woman from Belgium or Hungary or something like that. Now, going over to the second heat. So, these are pretty much dead wind times. Let me read the comment section right now to catch up. What's up, in Seduta Roy? Let me see. Alfred for gold or Sha'Carri for gold if she fixes her start. Yep. Yeah, my mic was pretty low on that. Let me see. The Buffalo Soldiers said a little while ago, did she say that, or are those I hear you, your thoughts on what she was thinking? Oh, no, those are just my thoughts on what she was thinking. I got some thoughts on what I think about Shelly-Ann. You know, only she would be able to tell, and whether she shares that publicly or not, because there could be something she says publicly and then there could be the truth. You know, there's some things that's there, but the way I'm looking at it is, look, she's already done what she needed to do. That's kind of what it would go back onto. No matter what happened anyway, even if like the whole of Jamaica turned on her, she could always go back and say, look, how many times did I win? Where everybody else at? Did Usain Bolt win this many times in 100? Did he have this longevity here? Did this blah, blah, blah? You know, anybody could go back. When you're in a position like that, and especially because she medaled last year, right? Even last year, you couldn't even say, well, you used to win 4 years ago, and then you stopped winning at all. You didn't get any medals or anything. She was a champion just 2 years ago. She was a champion in 2022. Right? And then she still got a medal last year. then got a medal. Like every year you can think back when she shows up, she's got a medal. So it don't even really matter what would have happened. That would be her fallback to. But if that's what she was gonna do from the jump, I would have been like, look, pass you up too. If she knew she was gonna do something like that, I gotta be honest. It's cool to have people that are legends show up to things like that. But I'd be like, look, put Kimba on there. Let the young ones. But Kimba's in her training camp anyway, so that would have been understandable. But put the young ones up there. Let them get a shot. Let them get some experience at the Olympics, and then go ahead. Maybe you could still fight and be on that 4x1. So there we go. Let's go here to the second heat. Yeah, so here we go. Yes, Sharika did sub out because of the injury. They didn't want to do that. She said something about that in her interview. Sidious Mag has that, so shout out to them. Y'all could go over there and check them out with the interview. She said, look, we're just trying to make sure we're focusing on this. She didn't say injury directly, but everybody knows she's strained. She's not in the shape that she was before. She's been dealing with things with her legs. She got one taped up and everything like that. And then she kind of sort of pulled up, or maybe she didn't, or whatever. People are saying so many different things. I say she pulled up. So she's got a lot of issues going on. And then her and her coach are like, we're not looking for world records. We're just looking to go there and perform. They didn't even say win. That's the thing. Many people are projecting on them winning, but they're projected like, yo, we just trying to hold on. We're going to take one step at a time. That's the way I look at it. I read what they said and say, like, there are certain statements that you say to the public. If you got a company and it's in shambles, you're not going to tell them you're in shambles necessarily, right? Because your investors will pull out. But you'll say, look at the U.S. with these lying-ass politicians, for instance. Instead of saying the economy is crumbling, they'll say it's easing. You see, soft words. They're going to say it's a soft landing. Really what they mean is we're in a recession right now. Like the U.S. has been in a recession for actually a depression, but they're going to use the word recession because they changed the definitions. But they're going to say easing, soft landing, those words. That's the same thing that you hear with athletes and coaches in the moment. You don't want to put all of that out there because you're not really trying to project that weakness like that. Some athletes, like a Michael Norman, they will just kind of sort of say it like it is. Michael Norman is pretty open with some of the things he said in the past, and myself and others have criticized him for what he said. But he was just telling the truth. I'm not looking to live up to what people are saying. So, yeah, here we go. Here's heat semi-final number 2. Julien Alfred sent the message right here. She said, all right, you're going to have to catch me if you can. She ran what she needed to run. She went through. She's closer to her personal best than Sha'Carri is, of course, or season best. Let's forget the personal best right now. Than Sha'Carri is. And 1084 to 1089, that's some serious stuff, especially with no wind really helping them. This is good because then it keeps everybody awake. They're going to have to come back in just a little bit and say, look, do I recover? Do I shake this off? That's what Sha'Carri has to do. And remember how I said, she has a chance of losing against Alfred or anybody else if she can't get her start down with those misfires and everything. That start is going to kill her with somebody that has a good start. She doesn't have a rocket start like a Shelly-Ann. Only Kambunji, Tia Clayton has one of those. Brianna Williams, when she's very inconsistent, but those are people with rocket starts. Julien Alfred just has a very good start and good form. That's what she has, and her acceleration. She's a very even-tilled runner, so if she's there, she's not standing out anywhere other than her standout is that she's very good at all of the phases throughout her sprint. That's how Julien Alfred stands out. She's just a fast runner. When somebody looks at her, they're like, oh, look at that 60. She's going to get out on you. And she can hold on pretty well. She's not a person that dies out at the end of a race. So that combined with Sha'Carri not having the best rocket start and her going backwards, she's going to have to wake up, like really wake up and say, all right, I got to get this start. Because if she just gets a good start and Julien Alfred isn't too far in front of her, she can catch her. She can catch her. It's not outside of her ability. But if Julien Alfred has a personal best run, which you would expect this is the time to do it, and Sha'Carri goes backwards, that's going to be hard to do. But if Sha'Carri got that 10-6 in her, I don't see Julien Alfred as a 10-6 athlete right now. We can't just place 10-6 on everybody just because we got about 4 athletes that can do that. We cannot place 10-6 on everybody. 10-7 is the thing. 10-8 low, 10-7 mid is going to be the range that most of the athletes are going to be in, and some of these championships are going to be won in. We can't be expecting 10-6 year after year just because we had it last year and the year before and the year before that does not mean this is the era of 10-6. Remember, the 10-6 athletes, Shelly-Ann, Fraser-Pryce, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and even potentially be able to do that as far as a win would be Shericka Jackson. They're out. They are out right now. So you got Sha'Carri, who can do a 10-6 as she set the world championship record last year. Okay. Will she have that start that she had last year? Can she still do a 10-6 with a bad start? That's going to be the question. Because if not, she's going to be in that 10-7 range, which is in the danger zone for everybody else, which is a Julien Alfred. Julien Alfred's in that 10-7. So if Julien Alfred can get a 10-7 low, she may be able to win with a bad Sha'Carri start. That's how that's going to go down. Right? That's how that's going to go down. Now, here's the other thing that we got to look at. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Let's bring up her picture right here and really talk about that. When I said that she was going to struggle to make it through, I really meant that. She was not looking as good this year. And while we could say that she could pull off what Usain Bolt has done throughout the years, or a Hisham El Garouj in a 1500, where he was just like, he had a blood disease or something like that, and then he came by and won Athens, and then won the 5,000 as well, and he wasn't really running. He lost some races throughout that year. Yeah, you know, you can do some things like that if you're younger, but when you're older, things ain't just gonna click like that. I brought it up yesterday with Justin Gatlin. He could still have gone on probably 1 or 2 other seasons. When you get between 38 and 42, some athletes are a little bit sooner. If they clunk out at 40, then it starts at 36. If they clunk out at 42, then it starts to go around 38 years old. That's the statistics that I have seen and that I've compiled myself for the athletes that do perform. But most athletes are going to be around 40 or below, probably because of diet and everything. Like Johan Blake. Let me bring him up real quick and then move on. Johan Blake has gone on a carnivore diet, and I wish he did not do that. Carl Lewis did the opposite. He went vegan. He has not looked back from being vegan. He went vegan, and then that extended his career. He was thinking back then like, yo, I'm starting to slow down. That's literally what he said. And Dr. McDougall said, who just passed away, that worked with him. He said, yeah, he's realized that he was slowing down, and there was a way, okay, I may not be able to get faster, but can I stop myself from slowing down as fast? So he went vegan. That's what winded up happening, and that extended him. He started to win more when he went vegan and eliminated all of the inflammation that's caused by that meat and eggs and everything like that. Johan Blake went the opposite direction, listened to the wrong people, thought that, oh, protein equals this. Everybody gets enough protein, including vegans. That's not the thing people miss out on. It's fiber. It's other things that people miss out on. So Shelly-Ann, depending on how she's eating, and you would think in Jamaica, you're eating a lot of yams, you're eating a lot of those starches, the carbohydrates, the things that you need that make you get powerful. That's actually the stuff that keeps people lasting longer and going faster. If she's on that, then yeah. But it's going to be inconsistent, to get back on topic. Justin Gatlin was inconsistent with his speed. He couldn't do the same thing that he did before. That's the same thing with Shelly-Ann. She's probably able to still knock out like a 10-8, maybe even a 10-7. I don't know about this season. but it's inconsistent. And especially with the rounds, I called it yesterday. I said if she makes it through the round, she would have to immediately go to an ice bath, immediately go to the massage people, immediately go and say, look, I'm off the track. I'm not taking an interview. I need to maximize the time to recover because I ain't got it. And let's be honest, she probably thought about that and said, I did what I needed to do. I did the first round. Let's see what I do on the 4x1. And I would say that she's probably going to do the 4x1. And she did the first round maybe as a, hey, I participated in this Olympics. We've had athletes like that in the past that did it. And I'm going blank for them now. But that's what I immediately thought of. And I'm probably going to bring it up in a few days once I can remember or go back. But there's athletes that just did the first round. And then they just didn't show up. She's not the first one to do it. It's distance runners that did it. It's sprinters that did it. Some people tried to make it through on the next rounds and they just couldn't. And they said, yeah, we thought we could have. And these were people that were winning before. They just say, look, I finished my last Olympic race, my last open. And that's what she did. So I'll give it to her there. So with this being said, I'm a little bit disheartened that Gina Bass didn't make it from the Gambia. I wish she could have made it. Like I said, Amani wasn't going to make it from Great Britain. Let's go to the last heat right here. Like I said, these were dead heats. They didn't have that much wind. Oh, yeah, and then they had something about a lockout or something like that. Let me catch up to some of this. The way Alfred was looking after the race, LOL. Yeah, they said Talu is going to choke. I can already see it. Interesting. Bronze for Jefferson or Clayton. Tia got 10-8 in her. And then Kumo said, I agree with you. I think we'll see 10-7 low to win. And then I see Jackson said, soon as Canelo's adopted a vegan diet for the Bivol fight, he got his ass whooped. LOL. Yeah, so, I mean, you could point to one or two people that might have gone negative. You got a couple Australian sprinters that went opposite. But then I start to look and say, did you just start eating things like a juicer? Because juicing ain't going to help. And a lot of people miss out on their fiber. And also, does it react slightly different to one person to another one where they go through a little bit of adjustment period? But there's absolutely no, and I need to bring this up. People are able to continue to do well once they go vegan as far as those weightlifters into their 40s. But when you get to 40, usually they've seen the weightlifter's strength go down. They've seen weightlifter's strength go down. I learned this about in 2017. There was somebody that was speaking about it because he was a bodybuilder and a weightlifter. And he was already saying, man, the strength is going to go down. People go down at that point. They start taking more protein stuff. It's literally working against the people, but they think it works because all these pharma ads and advertisements go there. But actually, it goes the opposite direction. The strongest animals on the planet are vegan. The biggest animals on the planet are vegan. So when you really think about that, it's like, okay, you got a whale, you got the rhinos, you got elephants, you got all the strongest ones, and they're vegan. The same thing works with people, but they just think not. Because I don't know what the hell the reason why. Because, yeah, I don't know. When it comes athletic, whatever you want to do in your personal life, sure. But athletically, the strongest thing that you can do is to go vegan. But you got to do it in a way where you're just not saying, oh, I'm just eating randomly. Because you got certain needs as an athlete that a regular person wouldn't. So that's the way I look at it. Now, I heard something about a lockout or whatever or something like that because somebody's saying they didn't allow them to warm up. Now, that I'm unaware of. If that was the reason why Shelly-Ann pulled out, that kind of makes sense because she's already got an injury that she had to have surgery on. So if that is the case, and this is news to me, but if that is the case, then that would have been the reason that Shelly-Ann just decided not to show up. And she's like, yeah. It's another thing. It's like, look, I'm older. Yeah, I'm going to do another world championship after this. This is just the Olympics. And the chance of me winning may be slim to none, but I can still medal. But why would I do that and risk, getting injured or something again when I could just not do this and I'll just do the 4x1. So if that's the case, then I can see that. So could you clarify what you mean by they weren't allowed to warm up? Were they just locking them out? So while I'm waiting for your comment there, let me cover this last one. So Tia Clayton, as people said, that she's got a 10-8, probably low in her. Pretty decent for her. And I will say this, Daryl Nita probably got a big ass head over Dina Asher Smith. A lot of people are saying that they go at it at each other, and I feel like I see them do like they do go at it, kind of like Elaine with Shelly-Ann and everybody else in Jamaica. It seems to be a similar dynamic with Daryl Nita and Dina Asher Smith. People were suspecting that Dina played like she had an injury during that 4x1 the last time so that they wouldn't have some sort of medal, because like she remember in Tokyo where she was like sprinting, or was that USA? I forget if it was Tokyo. I think it was USA when it was World Championships 2022 when she was sprinting, and then it was like she caught a cramp, and then she kept going, and Great Britain was literally in the medal contention right there. If it was like second or somewhere, it was second. And then they just were out of it. And people were like, yeah, if Dina couldn't get it, she was just messing it up for everybody else. I'm not sure she's that petty, but if so, then mission accomplished. She was like, yeah, you ain't getting no medal. If I can't get one, you ain't get one. So Daryl Nita right now is in the final again. So that's a big W for her, especially them being around the same age. She's probably not too happy that, British media is giving Dina Asher Smith so much of the accolades when she's like, look, I'm able to do things at the European Championships that Dina Asher Smith may not necessarily be doing, except for this year. She came back and won. I deserve attention too. Let me see. Jamrock said, apparent hamstring injury in warm-ups for Shelly-Ann with a rushed warm-up. Both her and Sha'Carri were kept out of the warm-up area. It's on Twitter. Okay, so that was the lockout that I was hearing about. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Kumo said, apparently humans don't have a certain bacteria that doesn't allow us to gain any protein from plants. Gorillas, for example, have that, and that's why they eat plants and be jacked. Man, y'all have so much misinformation. Protein is in everything. All right? Protein is in everything. Like, you learn this in biology class. People forget about the mitochondria and the phospholipid bilayer and all of those things. Those are those are not proteins. They talk about proteins. Everything has proteins except for French fries because they fry it out of it, and a couple other things like junk food. People don't get enough fiber. That's what it is, and that comes from plants. We have proteins in every single thing. A vegan has enough protein, way more than enough. A vegetarian, a flexitarian, a carnivore, you got enough protein. Plant protein versus animal protein is the difference. When you eat an animal, it's like being a carnivore eating whatever that thing is called when you eat other humans. It's like eating yourself, and your body reacts to it negatively, and you get inflamed. When people get holidays, especially in the US, I can tell you this from the US, they're over Thanksgiving and they get that sleepiness and drowsiness. That is actually a negative reaction in your body trying to protect itself. But if you're vegan, you don't get a drowsiness after you eat a bunch of food. You just eat a bunch of food and you feel perfectly fine. We are able to absorb protein. I'm vegan. I'm able to get jacked and everything like that. I've been able to be vegan since 2017-ish, 2018 technically, but 2017. There's plenty of people around me that are. There's, the world record holder for weightlifting or something is vegan. It's so many different things that we're able to do that. So no, that is incorrect. If you want more information, nutritionfacts.org, nonprofit organization. But I'll get off of that because some people are going to crash out and say, what is he doing? I don't like vegan. And then get off the channel. So anyway, let me get back to this. So Tia Clayton won, Daryl Nita in second, TT Terry squeaked her way through, and I really do mean squeaked. And Luke Kemper, I told y'all that she would have had to do this straight out. She just missed it, and I know that this thing, but she is somebody to watch. If she could get herself together, Luke Kemper actually can do some stuff here. I'm kind of sort of pulling for her to make a final in this 100 at the world and Olympic level, so that like she gets herself in there. I don't know if she could get for a medal, but she's actually, as far as the sub medalist, she can make a final. And as you can see, she was just out of the final rankings right there. So maybe hopefully the next time a championship comes around, she can go ahead and do that. But TT Terry made it through. So let's go through this. We got all of the Americans to make it through, and we have only one Jamaican to make it through. What do y'all think is going to happen in this final? Let me see something right here. While I asked y'all that question, let me read some more comments here. It says the Olympic Committee changed the rules yesterday for athletes not staying in the village. They have to come up with the team bus, so they had to go all the way back to come back with the bus. Yeah, that's something. Where have you been? I've been looking for your channel for the whole year. Sunny State, I've been here for a lot. Look at the videos. I've been posting up videos. I just haven't done it at every single meet. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I am going to treat track and field like like boxing or NFL. NFL don't got that many matches throughout the year, yet the most valuable teams, if you look at the top 20 and the top 50, it is not those soccer teams. You got like 4 in the top 20. Then you got like an NBA team there. But you notice the NFL has the most valuable teams. They got most of them, like 16 or 15 of the top 20 most valuable teams and the most profitable league, because they do not show up all the time. They got limited number of games, I would say matches to be even, but they got a limited number of games, competitions. I'll do it like that compared to other sports. Track and field needs to be more like that. Diamond League blends in with other leagues and everything, because it is like that. So I think in the future, whenever I determine a schedule that I would stick to, other than talking business and sport, because I'm still trying to figure out how to do that where it's still, you know, keeping the people's attention enough, and then still talking about the business of this, because we don't want to just talk about, well, at least I don't want to. I don't want to just talk about sport. I want to be able to elevate the people that are here listening to the content as well. So then they said Nita needs more respect. If I'm not mistaken, she's the only one between her and Dina to make an Olympic 100-meter final. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, Dina has not made an Olympic 100-meter final. The last time she gonna get a chance to do that, if she has the shape to it, is the next Olympics in the U.S. And we're gonna see. She's training in Texas, so we're gonna see what happens. So with that being said, this is what I believe is going to happen. Let's look at these, if they got the lane assignments. Let's see if they got the lane assignments right here. Let's look at the final. They probably don't, but just in case, let's see. Okay, here are the lane assignments. This does influence the race. This is where the action is, I think. Oh, they got Talu out there. She's a little bit far. So, okay, here's the lane assignments for everybody right here. Lane 2, Kambunji, makes sense. Lane 3, Talu Smith. Lane 4 is Clayton. 5 is Jefferson, Alfred in 6. As we can see, that's where the heat is. Richardson in 7, Nita in 8, and Terry in lane 9. Let me get a second to digest this one for just a moment. I gotta be able to digest this one for just a moment and absorb these lane assignments, because this influences a lot. Now, people are saying Talu is gonna choke. I don't know about that one. I believe. Oh, so the final is about to happen within the next 26 minutes. So let me just shorten this one up for a second. Yeah, because I got my clock set differently than the rest of y'all. So that's in the next 25 minutes and some seconds. So let me go ahead and make this one quick. People are saying that Talu's going to choke. She's just far enough away to not be concerned with some people. But I think that she needs to be in the heat of the action. Talu by herself, I think she can kind of sort of do something. Richardson has one person she need to worry about. She don't got to worry about TT Terry. She going to be struggling through. If she loses to TT Terry, that's going to be something. I can see her losing to Jefferson and Alfred. I told y'all the biggest threat to Sha'Carri Richardson, from what I've seen, other than that round one, Melissa Jefferson was just looking out of wax, out of sorts. I don't know what that was. She just was not looking like a threat at all. But if she could bring some of that heat that she can bring through in the finals, then she is a threat to Richardson as well, especially with the reverse start that Richardson has. I'm going to call that, yeah, I call it the slingshot. So it's the slingshot or the reverse start. That's what Richardson got. She got a slingshot or a reverse start. Reverse start when she got a really bad start, and it's a slingshot when it's just the average one for her. So, if they're allowing them to warm up fully, and that was just the case that Sha'Carri just wasn't warmed up enough, then Sha'Carri got this one. I say Sha'Carri got this one with, if that was the result, only if that was the result, you know, primarily because the lack of a warm-up. If she was able to do what she did with just barely kind of warming up, and then that was the case, then Sha'Carri Richardson got this because she still did fairly well with just having a rushed warm-up. If that was the case, then that means, assuming that she can recover, because remember, a rush warm-up and then her body doing that is kind of like forcing it through. So we're going to see, kind of forces it down the toilet. We're going to see how this goes. But I believe Sha'Carri Richardson got this. She still is the favorite here with Julien Alfred. Only Julien Alfred could win if Sha'Carri has a monstrously bad start. I got to say monstrously. Even this year, they're like night and day difference. Julien Alfred has to do a 10-7 low to win, in my opinion. She's got to do a 10-7 low. 10-7 mid is the slowest that she could go to get a chance to win. I'm saying this, y'all. 10-7 mid could get her a win if Sha'Carri has a monstrously bad start or the wind is against them. The wind is a factor here. I'm assuming they got a slight tailwind. When I'm saying these times, let's say a 0.6 tailwind, I'm basing it off of that time. Because remember, I said it was the 0.6 to 1.3 meter per second tailwind is the averages that I saw in the past. That has changed a little bit as the climate is changing, but I'm still basing it off of that. If we got that type of effort there, then Julien Alfred has to do a 10-7 low. Now, Ta Lou, that's going to be the wild card here. I believe she held back, and when it's all said and done, if she can come through and her coach got her in that 10-7 shape, same thing applies with the Sha'Carri Richardson. It depends on her start. It's really going to depend on her. She's the wild card here is technically Sha'Carri, but it's Ta Lou as well. Ta Lou could come around and win this whole ass thing. But the thing is, she got a one, lean, because she got a bad habit of not leaning. And then number two, let's be honest here. I believe her coach has her pretty well. We're going to see if she's in 10-7 shape. If she ain't in 10-7 shape, she's going to be probably out of the medals because Melissa Jefferson going to bring the smoke, even though she ain't looking too hot here. I don't know what's going on with Jefferson right there. Like I said, I said it earlier that she has a chance of beating Sha'Carri, but Jefferson wasn't looking too good during the rounds. If she straightens it up, then she does. I'm going to go based on only what I've seen so far. Sha'Carri with the gold, Julien Alfred in second, Ta Lou Smith, she got the bronze. Wild card pick is going to be Ta Lou with the win. Alfred is an obvious choice for the win, but that's going to be Sha'Carri messing up more than Alfred just outright beating her. I just can't see it like that. Sha'Carri got too much speed for her to just be beat by Alfred right now. Alfred's got to be, if she's a 10-7 low, then I'm going to say legit speed for speed. She got Richardson 1. If it's not a 10-7 like 2 or lower, I give her 10-7-3. If it's not 10-7 2 or lower, then I'm going to say Sha'Carri defeated herself. If they got a decent tailwind behind them. That's the way I got it. That's my final take on that. The other wild card, like I said, wild card is Ta Lou winning this whole thing. And I think their coach has kind of held her back. She didn't need to win. All right. She did not need to win. She did just barely enough. People criticized Ta Lou on saying, oh, she runs too fast in the rounds. Okay. She just did 11-0. Okay, she did 11-0. You know she got a 10-8. She did it just yesterday. She did an 11-0-1. So she just said, look, I'm going to jog this thing. And she did. The win wasn't that much different from her race yesterday. So she just did it. It was a similar effort. She's going to come through, and I think she's got it in her. Well, the question is, does she have a 10-7? Otherwise, she's got a bronze, which still be good for her. So, anyways, I think that's what I got here. They said, what happened to Shelly-Ann? What people have been telling me is that she sustained an injury, like a hamstring strain or something like that, from a rushed warm-up in, because they didn't allow people to do it. And if they changed the rules just yesterday, I understand. Maybe they should have gave more notification out, because remember, a lot of these athletes, like a Shelly-Ann, she's staying off of social media. How did they give the notification? Did they give it there? Because, you know, at these Olympics, it seems to be, it's so crazy that information gets out really easy to the rest of us. And it's so crazy that information seems to get out. But at these Olympic Games, athletes are told so many different things that it gets confusing. Like the Olympics, where it was like the 2 black athletes and they told them the wrong time or something like that, and then they didn't show up to their 100-meter race, and people were suspecting like they did it on purpose, and then they were given all this other stuff. And then you got the 5,000-meter athletes that couldn't show up. Like, they need their notification system or something. It needs to be like an app. That's what they need. All this billions of dollars they bring in, they need an Olympic athlete app that works only for the athletes that are there. They spend that money to make the app. Everybody that's an athlete and coach, download the app. Here's a notification system that gets set there. And then so when it's there, it is no question. It all gets set out as an alert. Say, hey, this is what's going on. So just in case some athletes that don't carry their phone, it still goes to everybody else, guaranteed. And then everybody got it. Instead of this, hey, yeah, we changed the rules. Hey, let's call up each camp. Let's send a text message to them. Who knows what happens with the text? They could say roaming and it didn't get delivered or something like that. But with the app, there's almost no excuse. Or they got an app, an email, a text, a call. They got all of that. They got billions of dollars and they can't get it out to them that easily. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. But if that is true and that Shelly-Ann did suffer that, I have to take back and retract what I said earlier with her believing that she only, needed to do like the first round and everything. That means I was wrong, and I'll be the first to admit that. But that is just slimy. That they will change the rules, and there's no concrete way that they could do it. If they were aware of the rules, but then they still did it, decided to do things on their own, Sha'Carri and Shelly-Ann, then that's their fault, to be honest. If they were aware of the rules and they were told and they still did it on their own, that's their fault. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can say. But anyway, guys, come back afterward. The race starts in 17 minutes. That final starts in 17 minutes. I will do a recap and the conversation after that. I'm not going to do a watch party. I'm not one of those channels. If so, there's plenty of channels with those with 3,000, 4,000 people in the live stream. I will be here after the final, but it is going on in 16 minutes and some change. So y'all get y'all asses and go watch that final, and then I'll be back like 2-3 minutes or whatever, maybe 10 minutes after the final, because they got all of their awards and victory laps and everything like that. But I will cover that after that. So catch you guys on the next one. You've been this is Nick, your host, and you've been watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And so I will be back in about 30 minutes.